You're watching Football Daily, and here are this week's biggest transfer headlines. It's all kicking off on the rumour mill, so make sure you're subscribed to never miss the latest gossip. Anyway, let's get cracking. We begin this week's show at Dortmund, and there's no surprise as to which player we're speaking about. Erling Haaland is already the most talked about player when it comes to transfers this year, with Man City, Man United and Real Madrid just a few of the clubs linked with the Norwegian signature. Meanwhile, Haaland himself has been pretty quiet on the matter, and this has led to speculation that he is already plotting his next move. And according to Bild, the former Salzburg man has remained silent because he is waiting to see whether BVB will qualify for the Champions League. Having clawed back ground in the race for the top four with their win over Wolfsburg on the weekend, Dortmund look a much better bet for the UCL than they did a few weeks ago. And if they are successful, it's understood Haaland and his representatives will have no problem staying in Germany until next summer when his €75 million release clause comes into play. But if they fail to qualify, Bild claim the club will, quote, insist on the fulfillment of the contract and have to issue a transfer ban in order to keep him at the Westfalenstadion. Once again, a minimum asking price of €150 million is being reported, which, along with the rumoured £600,000 a week wage Haaland is expected to demand, will likely be enough to put off any suitor this summer. However, if he is kept in Germany against his wishes, there's no doubt agent Mino Raiola will have something to say about it, even if he declared last week that he enjoys good relations with the Bundesliga club. Speaking to German broadcaster Sport 1, Raiola said, Michael Zorc, Dortmund's sporting director, made very clear that they don't want to sell Erling. I respect it, but it doesn't mean I agree. There is no war between me and Dortmund. Fans of BVB will be hoping it stays like that. Another player who could be leaving the Bundesliga amid his club's struggles to qualify for Europe is Borussia Mönchengladbach's Matthias Ginter, who was linked with Chelsea, Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan last summer. But despite insisting on staying with the German club for this season, with just a year left remaining on his contract and his club approaching a summer of change, the 27-year-old could finally be on his way out of the bully. Coming through at Freiburg before switching to Dortmund and then Fohlen, Ginter has been a regular in the German top flight since he was 18, and it's this kind of experience that makes him an attractive option for top clubs. Chelsea, who having invested heavily in their attack last year will likely focus on the back line this summer, have been linked once again, but their fortunes of landing him may well depend on their own battle to qualify for the Champions League, with Ginter recently telling Sky Germany everyone wants to play in Europe, and also admitting he could be open to staying at Mönchengladbach. Valued at under €20 million by the Football Observatory, likely due to his contract running down, Ginter could represent a relative bargain this summer as a number of top sides look to strengthen at centre-back. The likes of Man United, Arsenal, Milan and Roma could certainly do worse than looking at the 6'2" defender. But who would you sign in defence if you were Chelsea? Let us know in the comments. With Juventus looking dangerously uncertain of a Champions League place themselves, it's no surprise to see that Cristiano Ronaldo's name is once again in the back pages. The Portuguese star wasn't able to stop the Italian champions succumbing to a 1-1 draw with Fiorentina on the weekend, the third time they've dropped points in 6 games, and a result which leaves them 4th in Serie A only on goal difference. And Tutto Sport are claiming he could make the jump to either Man United or PSG this summer if Juve finish outside the top 4. Reports that the Italian giants want Ronaldo off their wage bill as they look to balance the books have been rife in recent months, and failure to get into the UCL would only set them back further financially. But where would he go? Man United may well be in the market for a centre-forward this summer, with the possibility of Edinson Cavani leaving becoming ever more likely. A lucrative short-term deal could suit both the English club and Ronaldo, as would the commercial benefits of a comeback story. PSG, meanwhile, would offer him the chance to link up with Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, the kind of superstar trio not seen since the days of MSN at Barcelona. Meanwhile, Juve could replace CR7 with Lyon talisman Memphis Depay, at least that's according to Calcio Mercato, who claim the Dutch forward is at the top of sporting director Fabio Paratici's wish list. And in many ways it makes sense. He will be available on a free, carries the same kind of leadership qualities as Ronaldo, and would no doubt thrive in an attack featuring both Federico Chiesa and Dejan Kulusevski. Whether Juve would be able to convince him not to sign for Barcelona though is another matter. Before we move on to our headline story, a quick reminder once again to subscribe to Football Daily and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Trust me, you won't regret it. Over to Tottenham now, where following the disappointment of defeat to Man City in the Carabao Cup final, attention has turned to who Jose Mourinho's permanent successor will be. And with the news this week that Julian Nagelsmann is set to replace Hansi Flick at Bayern Munich, the London club's first choice is now out of the picture. However, Spurs are looking at a number of other potential candidates, including Brendan Rodgers, Gareth Southgate and Ralf Rangnick, who they first considered for the job back in 2012 before hiring Andre Villas-Boas. And according to The Telegraph, Ajax boss Erik Ten Hag is also now being seriously considered for the job, and may be the most gettable of their targets too. Rodgers is keen to stay at Leicester, especially if they qualify for the Champions League, while Southgate is keen to take England to the 2022 World Cup, and Rangnick tends to demand a lot of power, something which may not sit too well with the Spurs hierarchy. Ten Hag, on the other hand, only has a year remaining on his contract in Amsterdam, and may well want a new challenge after an excellent 3.5 years with the Dutch Giants, who he took to the UCL semi-finals in 2019. What's more, with Jesse Marsch set to take Nagelsmann's place at Leipzig, who had also sounded out Ten Hag, Spurs look like easily the biggest club the Dutch coach could go to this summer. If appointed, he would signal a return to the progressive vision instilled by Mauricio Pochettino at the club, something Daniel Levy is no doubt looking for following the failed Mourinho experiment. Meanwhile, a Spurs veteran could be heading in the other direction, following reports that Ajax are keen on re-signing Toby Alderweireld, who originally left the club for Atletico Madrid back in 2013. But Dutch outlets Voetbalkrant are reporting the club are interested in him once again. However, with his contract not up until 2023 and with the Spurs backline incredibly weak without him, it's difficult to see the Belgian international leaving London this summer. Some more manager news now, as Roma looks set to appoint Maurizio Sarri. According to reports in Italy, the Giallorossi have convinced the former Juve and Napoli manager to take over from Paulo Fonseca at the end of the season, with the veteran coach keen to return to the touchline after a year out of the game. Previously linked with Spurs, Sarri prefers the prospect of staying in Italy and is in fact still contracted to Juventus, with the Bianconeri needing to pay €2.5 million to terminate it a year early. Although considering they already offered to cut ties with him earlier in the season, this is something they are no doubt ready to do. According to Corriere dello Sport, Tiago Pinto, who was appointed as Roma's general manager this season, has already held discussions with Sarri, and the pair are already making plans to strengthen the first team this summer, targeting a ball-playing goalkeeper, a fullback, a central midfielder and a striker. It could be an interesting close season at the Stadio Olimpico, but Roma fans will be hoping this news doesn't distract the side from their upcoming Europa League semi-final with Man United as they search for their first piece of silverware since 2008. We finish off at Everton, who are also looking to strengthen this summer as they continue to try and fulfil their Champions League ambitions. First up is James Rodriguez, who according to Marca, the Toffees want to tie down to a new contract. His current deal expires next summer, and it's understood he could extend for a further year, with Seamus Coleman and Gylfi Sigurdsson also expected to pen new deals. Meanwhile, links to Juve midfielder Adrien Rabiot have resurfaced, with Calcio Mercato reporting that the Bianconeri are looking for buyers of the Frenchman, despite him ranking 5th for minutes played in Serie A this term, and he has also apparently been offered to Barcelona, who have been linked with him since his days at PSG. But how do you rate Everton's chances of breaking into the top 4 next season? Let us know down below. So that's all we have time for on this week's Transfer Talk. Which of these moves can you see happening the most? Let us know down below. And do you think Erik Ten Hag would be a good fit for Spurs? Let us know down there too. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, and why not click on screen right now to stick on Football Daily. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.